and round, round and round. The wheels on the. Stop! What if I told you this single bus ride ignited a civil rights revolution? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of Rosa Parks, and it will inspire you. So, it all began in 1955 when a middle aged woman named Rosa Parks was sitting quietly on a bus when all of a sudden the driver ordered her to move to the back and give up her seat for a white man. And she refused. This escorted the incident to the Montgomery bus boycott, led by Martin Luther King Jr., successfully challenged the wrongful bus segregation laws and demonstrated the power of nonviolent protests. This, my friends, is a great example of the butterfly effect. Rosa Parks, her small act of defiance, refusing to give up her bus seat, sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and served as a trigger for transformative, large scale societal change within the American civil rights movement. She simply said no because it was wrong. Now, let's look closer, right here in Indonesia. Long before women had equal rights to education, a young Javanese girl named Raden Ajeng Kartini picked up a book. She read, she wrote, she dreamt of a world where girls could go to school just like boys. And she didn't stay silent. In a time when women were expected to stay quiet and obedient, she wrote letters to Dutch officials, shared her ideas, and sparked a national conversation about women's rights. She was just a girl in a small village, but her passion for justice and equality would eventually lead to major reforms in the Indonesian education and inspire generations. This is another great example. Raden Ajeng Kartini, her small act of disobedience and courage, refusing to stay silent as expected to. Like Rosa, Kartini's sparks changed, not with force, but with her pen, her voice, and her judgment. She reminds me, and all of us, that power, that change doesn't need to come from someone powerful. It come from someone who dares to ask, why not? Now, for a little recap, the butterfly effect is the idea that a small flap from a wing can result in vast, gigantic, unpredictable outcomes. Madame Rosa and Kartini here are legends at it. She refused. She disobeyed. She inspired. They became the symbol of courage, resistance against oppression, and strength. If they are able, then we are too. We can learn from them, learn the little acts of individual power, perseverance, and resilience. Their story teaches us how one act, one word, and one choice can change. Now, let's bring it closer to home. You might wonder, how does it relate to me? Well, here's my story. Back then, during my seventh grade, I was struggling. Finals, they were coming. But I decided to make a commitment. 1 hour every day, no distractions. These consistent actions every day for 3 months led me to a very satisfying result. My grades improved drastically from just a tiny flap from a wing to a whole tornado of goodness that I was so proud of. All proven in my report book. This is what we call sparks, small sparks that change. They represent minor consistent actions we practice daily, like a tiny ripple in a pond. According to Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory, the ripple effect is how one person's actions, emotions, and experiences influence others. It leaves an impression or creates an effect that spreads further towards other areas or people. Look, from one ripple, two ripples, three ripples, and so on and on and on. This indicates the butterfly effect doesn't happen in one day. Process, and it takes time. But this story of mine isn't about victory or glory. I admit, I've made a ton of mistakes, from misunderstandings to not scoring so well in unit tests, to assignments that needed improvement, even to times I forgot to submit them. All of these mistakes happen. It's indeed no stranger to anyone. I felt frustrated, but let me tell you, each mistake was just a stepping stone, not a stop sign. Because the butterfly effect isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. So I ask you, what spark will you create? Will you speak up when something's wrong? Will you show kindness when no one's watching? Will you stay disciplined even when it's hard? Rosa Parks sat down and stood up for millions. Kartini picked up a book and lifted generations. I studied for 1 hour and changed my grades. Your actions might feel small today, but one spark can light up a movement. One ripple can create waves, and one voice can echo across time. Your small acts matter. Your ripple counts. Like Rosa Parks, like Raden Ajeng Kartini, like me, you don't need a stage or a crowd. Just one brave moment can change everything.